In the early 2000s, a force emerged that would strike the music world like a lightning-fast strike. My Chemical Romance rose from the shadows, warriors of sound. Their music, a relentless battle cry that shook arenas and hearts alike. They conquered stages across the globe, loved by millions, their fame unstoppable. But with great power comes a dangerous weight. Fame was a battle they weren't fully trained to fight, especially their lead singer, whose struggles behind the spotlight added a haunting intensity to their legend. This is the story of triumph, chaos, and the fight for their place in history. Before we go any further, let me present Logo Legend, the creative force that rises above the ordinary. In the heart of South Florida, where ambition runs hot and innovation never sleeps, there stands one name that transforms fabric into story and ideas into legacy. Logo Legend, the ultimate one-stop destination for embroidery and heat press, where every stitch is crafted with precision, every print is forged with purpose, and every project becomes a masterpiece. We don't just match prices, we beat any verified price in town. Because greatness should be accessible. Whether it's a personal vision, a business mission, or a project meant to make an impact, Logo Legend is here to elevate it. Faster, sharper, and more legendary than ever.
In February, we'll be appearing nationwide on the Taste of Chaos tour. Please welcome My Chemical Romance.
In the aftermath of 9/11, Gerard Way found himself shaken by the tragedy he witnessed in New York City. That moment became the spark that pushed him to create something meaningful out of the darkness. Returning to New Jersey, he formed what would soon become My Chemical Romance, with his brother Mikey Way on bass, Ray Toro on guitar, and Matt Pellissier, Mattier, on drums. My Chemical Romance didn't just enter the rock world, they came to conquer. They launched themselves onto the scene like a flying kick straight out of a kung fu epic, punching through the noise, flipping expectations, and sawing through the charts with zero hesitation. Every chord was a strike. Every lyric was a blade, and the world felt it. Their impact measured in millions. My Chemical Romance has sold over 9 million albums worldwide, including about 6.5 million in the US alone. Their second album, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, didn't walk up the charts. It roundhouse kicked its way to 3 times platinum. Then came The Black Parade, the finishing move, a full-power, spinning heel strike that went 4 times platinum in the US and echoed across the globe. And the singles? Welcome to The Black Parade, 7 times platinum, a blow so strong it still shakes the scene. Teenagers, 6 times platinum. Famous Last Words, multi-platinum. Hit after hit, strike after strike, My Chemical Romance fought their way into rock history. As the tours grew longer and the crowds grew louder, Gerard's body began to show the truth his mind was trying to hide. He wasn't just tired, he was shutting down. Night after night, he walked on stage already shaking. Fans saw passion. The band saw a man barely holding himself upright. The alcohol that once took the edge off was now draining the life out of him. His stomach was constantly knotted. His hands trembled. His words slurred in ways he couldn't always control. And there were moments the world never saw, where the exhaustion and poison inside him caught up all at once. Moments where he'd collapse behind the curtains, sick from the weight of everything he had poured into himself. Moments where he'd stumble off the side of a stage, not from performance, but from his body simply giving out. The audience never knew. They thought it was the chaos of punk rock. But the band knew better. This wasn't rebellion. This wasn't art. This was a man drowning in silence. He would throw up after shows, not from nerves, not from adrenaline, but because his body was trying desperately to reject what he was doing to it. His voice was cracking, his lungs burning, his chest tight. These were not rock and roll war stories. These were warnings. Warnings that something was deeply wrong. Warnings that no amount of fame, money, or applause could fix. Warnings that could have become tragedies if ignored. And this is where the truth matters most. Addiction and depression don't care who you are, a superstar, a student, a parent, a friend. When you're sinking, you don't snap out of it. You need help. Real help. Gerard has said openly that he was losing control. He felt empty, guilty, ashamed, afraid. In this generation, we're only just now touching the surface of something men have carried for centuries: the silent struggle. Society has built this image of men as unbreakable: stone warriors, steel machines, unfeeling, almost like AI robots designed only to endure. But behind the armor, there is pain. There is exhaustion. There are nights where the weight feels unbearable. We suffer in silence, not because we want to, but because we were raised to. We were taught to ignore our needs, put others first, carry the load, and call it duty, call it pride, call it being a man. And still the world demands more. Step up, they say. Be stronger, they say. Words usually spoken by people who have something to gain when we keep pushing past our limits. And just like the warriors of My Chemical Romance, as they rose to the top of the world, no one stopped to see their pain until it was almost too late. The fame, the pressure, the expectations. Everyone saw the glory, but no one saw the scars. It wasn't until the breaking point that they leaned on each other, confessed their struggles, and pulled themselves out of the darkness together. They proved a truth men rarely get to speak aloud. Even the strongest warriors need support. Even leaders need a moment to breathe. Even protectors deserve protection. So someone tell me, when is enough truly enough? When do we stop telling men to step up and start telling them, you don't have to carry this alone? You matter too. You're allowed to need help. Because men helped build this world, brick by brick, sweat by sweat, generation by generation, but we are still human. We still bleed. We still bend. And sometimes, just sometimes, we deserve to be understood, not just used. This isn't weakness. This is truth. And the moment we start embracing it, the world becomes a better place for everyone. In the world of music, some bands play for the moment, and some fight for legacy. My Chemical Romance stepped into the arena young, hungry, and unafraid. They rose like champions, took the hits, survived the pressure, and stood tall under lights bright enough to blind even the strongest fighters. They tasted victory, endured collapse, and faced the kind of inner battles no spotlight could ever reveal. But warriors don't stay down. Champions don't retire their gloves so easily. And legends always find their way back to the ring. Today, they stand united once again, a band reborn, a unit reforged, a crew of fighters stepping back onto the stage like a final round comeback you never saw coming. Their music strikes like fists, their emotion cuts like kicks, and their presence lands with the force of a seasoned boxer who's learned every bruise, every scar, every round the hard way. Here in RHL, we rate the legends who've moved us over the years, the ones who fought their demons, battled the odds, rose from the canvas, and kept swinging with everything they had left. And for their journey, for their courage, for their return to the arena against all odds, we give My Chemical Romance an 8 for being truly, undeniably legendary. Because in the world of warriors, it's not how hard you fall, it's how loud you rise. This is RHL. This is Legend Rating. And this is My Chemical Romance.
You really need to listen to me, because I'm telling you the truth and I really do very much mean this and I'm okay.
Thanks for watching RHL, where the classics never rest and the legends rise again. Like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down below.